Okay, the next thing I want to show you is just an alternate way for you to edit your courses. Now, I definitely recommend using Loom to film, and I definitely recommend using Descript to edit and add captioning or closed captioning to your videos. But if you have a need or a more expansive need for editing, this is a really great free program for you to use. It's called Lightworks, and you can download it at lwks.com. Okay, it is free. They do have paid versions, but it is free. And on the website, you can see that even with the free version, it's great for beginners, streamlined editing with toolset and things that you can do. So you want to download this, and then once you have it downloaded, you're going to open it up, and it's going to look like this after you set up your account. And we're just going to hit create a new project. Now, I do want to preface this video with this is a little bit more of a higher learning curve, so this isn't going to be as easy as some of the other programs that we have taught on, but I did want to give you guys an alternate option for those of you who do not want to use Loom or Descript. And this is a free option, and so we didn't want to go into any paid editing programming. As an editor, I would not use this professionally. I would use something like Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro. If you have either of those programming, I would definitely recommend those two. But this is a free program for anybody who needs a free editing software. So once you're ready, you'll hit Create New Project, and then you'll just give it a name. So if you're editing a course, maybe you want to call it Module 1. So this is the interface for Lightworks, and a couple of things that I want to point out for you. So this long bar area that you see on the bottom, this is going to be your timeline. This up here is going to be your project window. These are going to be your settings, and this is going to be your effects panel, transitions, your bin for all your clips and your project files and everything, all of the above. So what we're going to do first is we're going to import some clips, okay? So find the folder where your clips live, you're going to select them and hit import. And they're going to live up here in your project bin. And then to get it into the timeline, all you're going to do is just drag and drop one of these clips into your timeline. Okay. So now we have our module or our lesson in our timeline. Now what you're going to want to do is the space bar is going to play your video. Okay, so you can see that the red line here, your playhead, is moving along, and that's just showing that it's going through your video. So you can zoom in by using your plus and minus keys, and I recommend doing that just to get closer to the waveforms. So basically, as you're editing your lesson, what you're going to be looking for are places that you maybe messed up and you needed to restart what you were saying, something that you wanted to take out or anything like that. So as you're playing your video, if there is anything that you want to cut out, you would hit the C key on your keyboard when that red line is over the portion that you want to cut. So you would hit the C, and then you would let it play. And then you would hit C. So now we have this portion here, and if I wanted to cut that out, I would just select it by clicking on it. You can see that it highlights in yellow, and then I would hit the delete key on my keyboard, and it's going to delete that. And then to get these clips back to back, you would just click on this empty space here and hit the delete key. So now you've taken out that portion of the video and you can keep going. Okay, so you'll keep going through this. You'll want to just go through everything, cut out what you need to cut out and leave what you need to leave. And then if you have other clips that you need to add, so for example, I have two clips up here. Let's say this one I needed to cut short. You can also just click the end and then just drag it to where you need it. So let's say I needed to cut that short, but I needed to put this second video on the end. So I would click on it and I would drag it to the timeline. Okay, so for your basic editing, it's pretty simple. You'll just hit play and you can zoom in to get closer. You can drag your red playhead around, get right up to the front of the video where you want to cut, and then you can hit C and it's going to cut that part out. Again, you can select it. I'm just zooming out so you can see what's happening. You can select it, hit the delete key. So in this case, because there's multiple tracks, sometimes it's easier just to select everything and you can just drag it until it snaps to that end of the previous video file that you had in your timeline. So when you're done editing that part, you can zoom back out. You can see your whole file here and make sure it is exactly what you want it to be. You can trim off the end. And so let's say you had a clip that was different sizes than the previous clip, okay? So once you drop a file into here, this project window is going to be whatever size that first file is. So let's say you filmed 2 different videos and they weren't exactly the same size. You could come over here, click on this video, you right click and you go under effects here and you hit add, and you can see zoom. So you're going to want to hit zoom, and it's going to add an effect there, and over in your effects panel you can see the settings here. So this is going to allow you to zoom in if you need to. So you can move the location of the zoom, you can put it in the middle. So this kind of yellow, I don't know if you can see this yellow outline here, is showing you what you're seeing in your project window. So once you have edited your course the way that you want it to, you've cut out everything that you want to cut out, there's a couple of other things that you can do that I just want to briefly go over. So you have the ability to add some transitions or some effects, and also edit the audio within this program. So these are your editing tabs up here. The reason that it gives you these different versions is just so that all of the features that you need to edit are going to be shown if you're under this tab. All of the features that you need to do visual effects are going to be under this tab, and every feature that you need to edit your audio is going to be under this tab. Okay, so if you need to edit your audio, you can click that audio tab. There's going to be some presets here. Now, some of them do require an upgrade, but they have enough here to get you what you need if you're just using the free version. One thing I wanted to mention is if you need to change the audio levels, which means if your audio is a little bit lower and you can't really hear it, there's this white line that goes throughout the video, and all you have to do is click on that and drag it up, okay? And you will see as you're dragging that plus 4.0 dBs, that stands for decibels, okay? So that's increasing your audio. And if your video is too loud, you can also do the same and bring it down to the negative numbers to make that audio softer, okay? And you can do that for each of these. Your stereo audio on the 2 tracks is going to change simultaneously. And then one of the things that I wanted to mention was this effect right here called plosive reduction. And what that is when you are recording videos, microphones often pick up P's a lot heavier than they pick up other words. For me right now, I'm using a filter on my microphone that actually cuts out those things, but I'll show you what I mean by that. Hopefully I can replicate this, but I'll move the filter away so that you can try to hear it. Peter, Piper, picked, peppers, plosives. Hopefully that shows you the examples of how the P's are picked up a little bit heavier on microphones typically. And so a lot of audio softwares have something called like a plosive reducer that helps you cut down on those P's. And those are very necessary because when you're listening to a course, if you're hearing the audio peak at different moments when someone is constantly saying those P letters, it's going to be very distracting. So within Lightworks, you can actually drag this plosive reduction effect onto your audio, and it's going to let you cut those out. So once you drop that on there, it's going to pop up in your effects settings over here, and you can just listen to your audio and then adjust the settings as needed, and then you can just keep going. So the other thing I wanted to show you is if you needed to add any text or any effects. So we're going to go to visual effects, and it's going to give you a couple of options. So you can see that the layout of the software has changed, okay? So over here on the left, you now have your effects tab, okay? And you've got text, which is what I wanted to click on. And it's going to just give you some examples here. Let's say this one, we're going to drag that on top. So once you drop that effect on there, you can come over to the right side and you can change it. You can put your business name. You can put your name, whatever it is. You can even change the color of the text. Let's say I really like pink, so I'll do pink. You can change the size of it, so if you need to make it big or smaller. You'll see here you've got the typeface. You can change your font. You can change the size, the appearance, either a flat color or a gradient. And then your subheading has the same settings here. You can also add shadows. You can change the positioning of the text. So you can drag it to where you want it to be on that little lower third bar. And then of course, if you decide that you don't want that, all you have to do is see these 3 dots where you see the heading. You're going to click the 3 dots and you're going to hit remove. So you're going to remove all of those, and then you can go back to your edit tab. And once you're satisfied with it, now again, there are many other things you can do. You have transitions here if you want to transition between different clips and everything. Once you're satisfied with whatever it is that you have, you're going to go over here to the right side. You'll see this export button. You'll hit export. You're going to keep the resolution as is, and then when it says region, what you're going to select is you're going to select ignore leading or trailing black. And what that's going to do is it's going to make sure that everything on the end of your video, if there is extra black space on the end where there's no video, that is not going to export with your final version, okay? And then you can decide where you want to put the video, and then you'll hit the start button, and you'll see a little box pop up that's going to show you the progress of your export. So again, this is a little bit more expansive than the other programs that we taught, but we did want to give you a different option for those who may be looking for different editing software. So if you're looking for a challenge, you can definitely use Lightworks to edit your course. And then it'll pop up and tell you when it's done, and you'll be good to go.